Hello, testing, yes. I don't know why I'm testing, I know it's working. Hello everybody, welcome to another Streamstructor. Although, to be fair, this past weekend has been hell for technology. The hamsters have finally came off the wheels for the first time in about 2 years. I'll get into more details about that as we go along. But hello everybody, welcome to another Streamstructor. My head's still slightly over the place here, so give me a second while I get myself all together. But yes, hello. I hope you've had a very happy New Year and a very good season when it comes to the festivities of Christmas. The traditional Christmas or the Orthodox Christmas, if you celebrated that on Friday. Kind of relation to the Orthodox Christmas situation in regards to a country that I tend to do a silence for in a minute. But yes, it's New Year 2023, the year of turning 40. God. But there we are. It's one of these things. Unfortunately, the background, is still the same as almost than there has been all the time. I'll explain a bit more about that later as well. There's lots to talk about, lots of changes, lots of hopes, dreams, wishes, possible issues coming up, financial or otherwise. I'm starting to rabbit on a little bit here, but yes, once again, Happy New Year. This year is going to be an interesting year for the channel. This year is going to be an interesting year for live streaming and other aspects. I'm already trying to get way ahead of the curve, and as it currently stands, I am 6 weeks ahead in video content of the stuff I can pre-plan. There's things obviously that are live like this and channel update, which is still to be done for later in the month, because I don't really do that till about a week before, just so I've got an idea of what I'm doing and what I'm saying. But yes, there's a bit coming up of changes and ideas and themes that you guys will hopefully get a bit more information on as time goes on. But I'm going to tease it just a little at the moment. It may not be a one-man bank today. I may have some conversation with others later on, but if it doesn't happen, I still have an hour's worth of fun conversation, a couple of fluffs here and there, the usual sort of stuff. You know what I'm like by now, and all the usual stuff. Let's just see what's happening today, what we've got. We do have the 2 archive videos. There's also an extra video as well, which I'll explain a bit more in a minute, which isn't included in this running order, and I'll explain about that, why it's not there in a minute as well. A lot of explaining going on today, that's all I'm going to say. So we've got the vlogs. So we've got the Rock of Ages vlog, very interesting, and then Arc of Infinity. And I'm looking at that video when I was looking over it for the archive stuff, and oh my god, do you know what? I can pull something off that I didn't think I could. I didn't realise at the time how bad it actually, or how much there actually was that's happened in regards to a certain aspect of the body that I had had going on in lockdown. I'm slightly fighting for time here because I'm just trying to clarify something in regards to videos, because I've forgotten something and I just want to make sure I've got the information for later. I'm dithering a little bit today, but that's the nature of my weekend, and I will explain more in a moment. Let's just have a look. This was, where is it? It is, but the Doctor Who review is Arc of Infinity. Yeah, that makes sense. The Doctor Who review is Arc of Infinity, and an element of that, which makes sense in regards to the context of things, is part of that archive stuff. My brain's farting already. I'm only in 2 minutes. But yes, welcome if you just joined me. The chat is there. The chat's there, and it is only on YouTube. As I said last month, I'm no longer doing Facebook, I'm just doing the YouTubes only. So just a couple of other things I need to very quickly tweak, and then I will be ready to get into the details properly here. Please bear with me a moment. There we are. Right, I'm just making sure the social medias are fully aware that I am going to be causing havoc online for the next hour. There we are, and one more social medias to sort, and then that's me ready to go with the usual fare of fun, frolics and stupidity and hamster issues. Oh, I haven't logged into that yet. Ooh, that's annoying. Right, let me explain what I'm doing and why I'm saying that's annoying, not logged in and things like that. This live stream almost didn't happen today. And the reason for that is because I tried to boot up the machine yesterday and it wouldn't work. It just wasn't working. And I'm going, oh. Just imagine what it was like if it was today. Fortunately, I have stuff pre-promoted and pre-set up, so I could have jigged things around and still uploaded stuff today. You would have still got something, but it wouldn't have been this embarrassing excuse of a live stream. No, that's cruel. But yeah, it would have been a little bit different if it wasn't for that. So to be fair, I've managed to get it all sorted. I was up till 2 o'clock last night getting it all fixed. All the software is back up and running. I can work with everything here. And actually, it's given me an opportunity to upgrade one piece of software that I hadn't done for years. Because I couldn't find a version that I could use of the original. I've had a few corrupted hard disks recently. The disks aren't corrupted, it's just missing the boot file to boot the computer. But I managed to download a version of Windows 10, put it onto flash drive, get it onto flash drive, get it reloaded. So we are back up and running. But yes, it could have been a completely different setup today in regards to the live stream if it wasn't for that. So I'm kind of glad that it happened yesterday because it gave me a chance to get everything sorted for today. There may be a few hamsters that come off the wheel at certain points here. That's absolutely fine. And I've just realised I'm saying the hamsters word. That may not be very fair. Oh God, I'm really not having much luck today. I haven't had much luck over the Christmas period either in regards to doing stuff and being socials. But yeah, I will try not to mention the word hamsters because it might be a bit narky for somebody in my audience here who watched this either at the time or later on. Friend of the channel, Kirsty, she's had a wee hamster that passed away on the 31st of December, so she's not having much luck with poor animals this year. That's 2 in a year. I really feel for her. Speaking of animals though, Gus is in full flow. My sister's wee doggy was absolutely causing havoc when he came over on the 27th with my sister and her partner. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I will give you this little tidbit. I could be vlogging in Portugal in October. That's all I'm going to say for now. A bit more about that in the channel update, I think. But yes, the running order is there. But before we go any further, as you know by now, I don't like the situation in Ukraine. So much for this orthodox ceasefire that Putin wanted to do. That didn't happen. But as you know by now, what I do is I do a 1-minute silence here every month for the people of Ukraine, and I will continue to do that until the conflict is effectively sorted. So this is becoming a bit of a live stream tradition. If you want to join in, that's absolutely fine. If you don't, please bear with me just 1 minute while I do the usuals. So here we go, 1 minute silence for the people of Ukraine. Thank you for everybody who's taken part in that, as always. I do think it's important to do that every month, just to show my support for them. And it's going to be one of these difficult years, I think, for it's not going to finish by the time the anniversary happens. It will carry on. But it doesn't seem to have moved too much, but they're still in the country. You know, the Russians are still in the country. They're still causing issues. There's still bombing going on. But it seems the tide has turned a little bit, and there is a bit more conversation with. There is a bit more going on in regards to the Ukrainians fighting back just a little. Although, if it takes a US Congress, the House of Representatives, 15 votes to get a speaker elected, God help America try and support everybody. God help trying to get funds through for more support for Ukraine for the next 2 years. What an absolute show that was. It was kind of like my boss at work, she's American, and she asked the questions, what do you think's going to happen this year? I said, well, I don't know if they're going to have a speaker for the House of Representatives the way it was going. What absolute... It just shows that side of the political spectrum is just so over the place and been so affected from a certain orange menace that was president there for 4 years. And as I quoted in the Frosty the Snowman situation, you notice, you wouldn't have some of the circumstances of what you've got there. Oh, no, it's not Frosty the Snowman. Oh, spoiler. I mentioned that in Benny Crayon, which is coming out later this month. I'll get there. I'll get there eventually. One of these days, I will get there eventually. But yes, it's interesting. It's fun. The situation from afar, but it's still not good. And the turmoil is not obviously just in America. The turmoil has been in the UK as well, with the year of 3 prime ministers. 1936 we had the year of 3 kings. 2022 we had the year of 3 prime ministers. And one of them's absolutely useless. But there we are. Not the present one. He's okay. But there's other useless ones out there anyway. But yeah, no, absolutely. This is the Teamstructor, Streamstructor live stream. I really need to get my words in order tonight. I really do. But it's time for a bit more fun. It's time for a bit more of the running order. Do you know what? Let's go with a vlog. Let's go to the Rock of Ages. It's Saturday, the 8th of June, 2016. Just the end of the first day of Rock of Ages. You might get a little bit of that later. But the sun has finally come out after a very wet and windy day. And here is base camp. This is where most of the vlog will be today. It'll be mostly behind the scenes. Welcome to another vlog.
We're a bad influence in this party, one, so we are.
Drinking and swearing already.
Drinking and swearing and...
Where's everybody else?
So it's actually the tail end of the Saturday. Good today, a bit of fun. The sun's finally come out and they're about to complete the event for today with a bit of a fashion show and then fire off a few cannons and a few muskets. So we'll see how we gets on, shall we?
Hello Martin, can you tell me a little bit about the group you're involved with? Thank you very much. Very much. Everything's coming out there. Oh, it's a real troublemaker now. But who actually, what group is this? Yeah, well done. Tell me, what is this all about? Votes for women? Yeah, that'll never catch on. Never catch on. No, I'll never catch on. Never. Right, get some more of your group coming up here.
You need some aggression in the expressions. That's better.
So I got a little practice in last night. See, trying to get your moves, it's really interesting how you try and get moves in places like this. A lot of practice. I think it'll be a good year or so before I actually get to a stage where I actually think I can actually do this properly with fighting. But it's Sunday morning, and behind me, as you can see, is the castle. I'm not having time to go up it this weekend. However, I did come and visit in April to the castle. Let's see what I did there. Thank you very much, Barry, for introducing me here. I am 2 months before. It's the 13th of April, and I am on my way to Dumbarton Castle to tour the castle itself and maybe get a bit of exercise with the famous 557 steps that you climb up to the top of the site. So let's see how I get on, and let's go exploring the castle, shall we? So there's the governor's house behind me. So yeah, let's go explore the castle a little bit more, because there's a bit more than that. There's a whole of that to explore as well. Can't see much from here, but believe me, there's quite a bit. So there's a tour of the site. Where do I go? Do I go up to the Bower Battery? Or do I make my way up through the guardhouse up to White Tower Crag? I think I'll go up the Bower Battery first and have a look through up that way and then come back. It makes sense. When you look at it from here, it doesn't seem that big, the eventing space. But this is where everybody will be in 2 months' time. Hopefully the weather is as nice as it was last time. What they tend to do is they tend to have stalls and all the different displays of the different groups, starting from over there and working their way around the edge here over to the other side, to the more modern stuff over there. It just doesn't seem that big. Weird, isn't it, how so much gets stuffed into it? It seems so big, but this is where we're going to be. Whew. Can I see Newark from here? I think I can see Newark Castle from here. Let's see if we can zoom in and see it. Around about there, I think. Remember the shipyard. Need to return the favour one of these days, I suppose. I suppose that's the beauty of bringing a selfie stick with me. I can have slightly wider shots, so you can have glorious shots like this. This is the Clyde side. As you can see, I've just tried to get a shot of Newark Castle in the distance there. And this is where the Leven goes into the Clyde. So Dumbarton was quite a strategic strong point because it's a volcanic crag like Edinburgh Castle. Which is a great defensive point, and in the medieval times it used to flood. The other side used to flood in high tide, so it was completely cut off, completely a brilliant defensive position. But this is the Bower Battery, so this was made in the 18th century as extra defence, initially for Jacobite rebellion, and then later it was utilised more for the Napoleonic Wars. So that's one part of it. This is the lower part of it. As you can see, if we turn around, I've got a bit to climb. Look, there's a gargoyle there. I wonder what that's all about. Need to go and find out, I suppose. Underlying trend of Dumbarton Castle. Stairs. So behind me is the French prison. Not open. It wasn't open last time I was here as well. There's substantial renovations going on in it. Doesn't look as closed as it was, but it's still not open just yet. I'm at the Duke of York's Battery, named after the son of George III. I can't remember which one it was. I'll check that when I get back. But you get a good couple of views here. You've got the Dumbarton Football Club ground there. You've got views into Dumbarton over there, which tours all the way around. And then you got going out to the Clyde there, and over there is Argyll. If you see those mountains that are covered in the cloud in the background, the one that's right in front of us in the middle of the frame is Bed Lomond. Now, at the time of recording this, I'm a couple of weeks away from potentially climbing that thing. The camera is actually compensated. It's actually not that light in here. It's a little darker. But this is obviously the Gunpowder magazine store. No sparks in the day. Would have blown up a lot more than just this building, I can assure you. Now apparently this is the reason why Dumbarton was shut for a month or so in the winter, when I originally planned to go visit it as part of building vlogs up for the year. Ended up going to Kitterside Museum instead. This is the cause of a thunder strike. A bolt of lightning hit it and damaged the masonry. And they must have done other checks just to see if there's anything else in the building that was damaged, and it took a while. And obviously the bad weather wouldn't have helped. So that's why it was shut, according to what I understand. So it's amazing that, you know, acts of nature can still happen. I mean, this is fairly recent. This only happened back in January. It was just around like Christmas time, Christmas New Year time. So just shows you the elements still affect historic sites, even though they look like they've been stabilised even after all this time. Some people say I'm saving the best, or rather the worst, till last. Here we go. Oh no! I'm doing this when it's getting a little bit windy as well. This is going to be fun. Ah. It's not constant steps, but it's still knackering. I've done this before and regretted it. But then again, I was a lot less healthy or fitter then. Certainly not as fit now. Whew. And of course, the beauty of additional equipment is it gives me a chance to have better views of the surrounding. At the moment you get the tree, there we are. That's better. The sun's come out. Great. Whew. Not even halfway up. I'm knackered. 557 steps. Doesn't feel like it. And I'm not hamming this up for effect. I am struggling. There you go, my friend Barlow. You want me doing some training up a hill? Got it today, mate. Yes, nearly at the top. Nearly at the top. Whoa! There we are. At the viewpoint. Oh. Woo. I'm going to leave you for this part of the vlog with a 360 of what I can see before me. Let's see what shenanigans I got up to during Rock of Ages, eh?
On the seat, and I will be handing you over to the colleague.
So I'm back home. Got back, got dried off, got changed into some comfy pyjamas, and I've got some catching up to do. I've got Doctor Who to watch, because I've got a first impressions video to do, which probably won't go up to the following day, and I've got a Grand Prix to watch as well, so I've got a bit to catch up on telly-wise. However, this was the first full weekend I've done with Carrick, and there was stuff. You have got stuff. I'm really glad I did the Dumbarton filming in April, because that really will help this vlog, because otherwise it would have just been a couple of clips of me looking at people on Saturday and that's it. But yeah, no, it was a good day, very enjoyable. It's an interesting multi-period thing. I think Fort George will be better. That's the other multi-period one. The next big weekend for me is Linlithgow, the jousting once more. That will be covered along with the Care Laverock jousting that's going to go on. So you'll see, they'll get together on the same vlog, effectively. But yeah, sorry, slightly tired, and I'm sorry I didn't do much vlogging on the time I was there, but you do get into it, you do forget, and if it wasn't for one of the people helping us, Charlie, he's one of the guys' fathers, filming the stuff on the Sunday, there would have been very little to be doing any reenacting at all, because I didn't get much to film with me. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully this is an improvement. The next ones will be an improvement on this, and hopefully we'll to get a bit more in here. But if you want to really see what really happens at Rock of Ages, and the format was similar this year anyway, really. If you really want to see what happens at Rock of Ages, check out the vlog that was done called Living History from last year, vlog 27. It's merged in with my trip to the jousting at Linlithgow last year. So go and see that. Go and have a look at the first part of the video, because it gives all the clips of what happened there. And it was a lot nicer day there. That was the other thing. The weather was kind of, oh my word. windy at times and rainy. I was trying to stay in the tents as much as possible to keep dry and sane. But I'm glad I'm back in bed, comfy bed, watch my telly programmes, go to bed, back to the grind tomorrow. I think I'll leave it here, top of Dumbarton Rock. If you have been watching, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and comment below if you like what you see. I publish a video or post a video every Sunday at 7 PM GMT. Next week is an interesting week video. Until next time, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you later. There we go. Dumbarton, the most vlogged location in the vlogs, and it's going to be more for vlog 100. Frey is probably incoming, and he is probably going to be the disembodied voice. I'm not quite sure if the Skype settings here are going to work, because it's been about a year and a half, plus I've had this issue with the computer, so I don't know if it's going to work 100%, but if I do go and kind of silent for a minute while I speak to him, that'll be why. But yes, hello, welcome to Streamstructor. If you've just joined us, hello. I've been going for the past half an hour or so now, and we've just done the vlog. A couple of things I noticed in that one. Oh, I miss that shirt. The shirt I had underneath the jacket when I was going up the Castle Rock. It got irreparably damaged, but I miss that shirt. I wish I had it now, but I don't have it anymore. The shirt I'm wearing is probably one of the oldest ones I've got. And the shot I had when I was talking about trying to zoom into Newark Castle, two interesting points about that. One, it wasn't where Newark Castle was. Actually, it was slightly to the left, or sorry, your direction, slightly to the left of frame of when I zoomed in the most. So the Ferguson shipyard was just on the corner of the frame on the left-hand side. If I'd moved it just a little bit, I probably would have got Newark sitting there, or at least a better idea where Newark is. Fortunately, no, I have filmed in Newark since, and that will be coming up hopefully later this year as one of the vlogs. And I didn't think about it, but I did manage to get the view the other side, as I said I would. So, yeah, nice linkage 5 years down the line, put it that way. Of course, there wasn't any Linlithgow vlog as such for this year. I decided not to go down that route. I did want to do something for Kilavrock. I had filmed Kilavrock very similar to Dumbarton with an intermediate piece, but I didn't film anything at the weekend itself for the event. So, as it turns out, that's probably a good thing, because Kilavrock's turned out to be one of the most popular vlogs on the channel, which is really fun and really nice to know. Now, vlogs, resolutions, things like that. Let's get into the resolutions factor. Now, you may have noticed last week there wasn't any resolutions vlog. There is a reason for that, and I'll go into more detail. However, I did want to go and actually do a video to complete and give an update on how the resolutions I set for 2022 have gone. It's in 2 bits, and it's exclusive to the live stream here, and will go up as the clip for the clip stream on Wednesday at 6 PM GMT. I'm gonna sorry, it's Fraser's thing and he hates the GMT stuff. It's quite funny. So yes, the next clip the next video you're going to see is specially filmed for this live stream, and it's a review of the resolutions for 2022, and it's filmed in the place where most of the resolutions have been set in the videos, Calder Glen Country Park. So it's 2023, I am here at Calder Glen Country Park. This bit you may not fully recognise, it's not a bit I've gone on a lot, but it leads on to the fire pond, which is ahead of me, and the play park at Calder Glen, just like a back route. But yes, I thought it'd be nice to do resolution review again in Calder Glen. I didn't do it last year, and the year before it was icy going through the South Trail and through the Langlands Trail. and I had a little bit of a slip up as well. Literally a bit of a slip up. You know, I might end up at Langlands Moss again at the end of this, but maybe not going through the tracks. I might go via a more paved version, which is a bit easier to do than it was 2 years ago, but I might discuss that a bit later. I may not. You pick me up on the live stream for this. This is going out as part of the Streamstructor live stream, as you have been pre-prepared for. And just a quick disclaimer, there are no resolutions being set for 2023 on this video. It's just a review of the resolutions for 2022. There were 5 of them, and I'll go through each one in turn. So we'll start off with the first one, which was lose weight. Now, I didn't reveal this last time, but when I weighed myself on the day of the video being recorded on the 2nd of January last year, I was 13 stone and 8 pounds. I weighed myself this morning, I am 12 stone, 7.5 pounds, which means I have lost a stone, as I aim to do as part of that resolution. So that is a great big tick. Got the tick the wrong way around, but there we are. Great big tick. That resolution has been met. Let's move on, and I'll go to resolution number 2. I was wondering if I could cross the stepping stones across instead of using the Horseshoe Falls Bridge. I think that kind of confirms maybe it's not a good idea. There's quite a lot of water coming through this time. It was more settled last time. Just shows what's happened after all the days of rain that we've had recently. So this is the barbecue site, the old barbecue site, laid as part of a youth exchange between East Kilbride and Cannes in France in 1989. And this seat effectively has become quite well known to you guys as part of the channel updates. Whoa, the river is flowing behind me, and it's quite adequate because we've got resolution number 2. 6 new historical sites in Scotland that I've never been to before. Yep, that was met. Spiny Palace, Dunstaffnish Castle, Ardchatham Priory, Traquair House, Mary Queen of Scots House, and finally Castle Fraser. 5 of them have logs. They're coming very soon. But apart from that, let me move on to resolution number 3. Well, it just shows you how much rain we've had over the past few days in central Scotland. There are waterfalls coming from crevices I never thought I'd see, ever. Calder Glen has the capacity to surprise me sometimes, it really does. What doesn't surprise me is resolution number 3. 400 subscribers was the aim, 345 is what I got. Do you know what? It was a hope and a prayer, as I mentioned in last year's resolution. The prayer didn't happen. Those are the breaks. On to number 4. That would have been a problem 2 years ago when I did this walk to Langlands Moss. It was rather icy. Because I work from home, just made it easier for me. I'm actually holding on to a handrail here, and I'm deliberately not doing this on every resolution recording. I'm genuinely struggling up this hill. Sod the resolutions. This is lovely. This is brilliant. I'm loving this. Running water over the place. That's sheer stone, so it's just running right down into this kind of, it's kind of like a natural weir. And there's more water following down there. It's just amazing. Wow. Oh, that's good. Last time I was down here in August time, that was shut because of a landslip further up. That's back open again. Today though, I'm not going that way. I'm going up this way. So, resolution number 4. Well, that was to buy a new house. That didn't happen. I'll be perfectly brutally honest, it didn't happen. As I said last year, I was in a better financial position, more of a cushion. That cushion was taken away from me in September when the mini budget in the UK happened and the markets went haywire and interest rates shot up and the affordability of a mortgage. I can still do it, but I want to have a little bit more of a cushion of a deposit to lessen the blow, because I want a situation where I'll be able to accept it for any type of mortgage and not just a high interest rate one or whatever. And the more deposit I have, the better chance I have of that. Plus the market's not as buoyant as it was last year, and if I hold out a little bit longer I might be able to pick up a little bit of a bargain and make my whole journey to putting a foot on the ladder all the more safe. So there is a fifth resolution that I've got to discuss from last year, but I'm going to leave that for now and come back to it a little later in the live stream. And yeah, it's the perennial failure, but has it been a success this year? There's your cliffhanger. Barry, take it away. I certainly will take it away. And I'm not revealing anything. I'm going to wait till later on before I do that. Yes, I'm about to have my disembodied voice join me. Just give me a second. I'm just going to say, yep, give me a mo, and I'll give you a ring, Fraser. And we'll get going. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly, and you're live. Please do not
You
swear.
are. Oh, hello. Hold on. The speakers. How do I get the speaker on?
Oh, I'm gonna
Anyway,
get
I can
feedback,
hear you,
am
so
I?
that's fine.
That's all right then. Happy New Year, sir.
How do I get the speaker on?
Oh dear. I'm glad it's not just me having technical issues today.
Got you. So I just caught the tail end of your resolution video.
Right. Okay. Quick summary for you then.
Yes, please.
I lost a stone.
Congratulations.
No
I've lost several as well, as it turns out.
Did you?
Yes,
Well,
I'm now under 12.
Jealous. Not quite there yet.
It's carrying a heavy baby. It's probably what does it. Not having time to eat. Probably
Yeah, that probably might be it.
probably
Yeah.
contributes. Walking a pram, obviously with a child inside it,
Yes.
also adds to all of it. And right. What's your next one?
The next one was to visit 6 historical sites. Managed
many
to do
did you
that,
do?
no problem.
Nice.
I did 7. I missed one on the listing, and I still can't remember what it is because I know there's a 7th one, but I can't remember.
Due to said baby and Siobhan being pregnant, I don't think I did any historical sites. However, we are off to the Doctor Who exhibit in Edinburgh in March, and
March?
I'll take that. Going for my birthday, so
Oh, quite right too.
get kind of lined up, and I suppose it's a sort of mini replacement for the Doctor Who experience, which we all know and love. So
Yes. I don't think it's going to be. It might be as good. It might not. But
I
I
think
get the impression maybe it isn't.
I think the only thing it's really missing will be the walkthrough part, where it was like an actual experience, as if in the TARDIS and going onto different planets and the Doctor kind of guiding you through. I think it'll be just as good with all the bits and pieces. And I know they've got 14's costume and Donna's costume from the upcoming specials there. I know that much. And we're going to go on the train so we can take Harrison, who's decided to speak.
Hello, Harrison.
Yes, I am baby dependent. If he suddenly needs something, I'll be disappearing. Yes, I will.
Yes.
Because Siobhan is away to chill.
Quite right. She's had a great birthday weekend. And speaking of which, I haven't gone through the Facebook birthdays yet. But I didn't wish her happy birthday last time.
You wished her, yes, you did last time. So yeah, I think it'll be good to see all that stuff. And we'll take the boy through because he's getting older. He's getting more curious about things. I think it'll be really good for him. And start him young.
Absolutely. That's the best way of getting a Doctor Who fan nowadays. Start them young. Absolutely. Yeah, no, cool. I want to go to the exhibition. I probably will do it on my week off next month. I haven't decided exactly when and where yet, so what I'm doing there. But I might actually cross the border as well. I haven't decided what I'm doing vlogging-wise yet, because the parents put a slight curveball in regards to their trip to Australia. They're going 5 days later than they thought because they got the date mixed up.
Oh, God.
So, but apart from that, I better not go too much into this because everybody else on YouTube can see this conversation as well. We're getting to friendly conversation as well. I'm not used to this. It's been one man bank for 10 months.
Yes, well, I wanted to do one now that I had a bit of time, so I could say that I've done one live stream this year at least, because I must have done one last year at some
You
point.
did. You
So at least, if nothing else, I've done one this year. So
Yeah.
we'll take that as one. Right, what is your next resolution?
Right, the next resolutions were to buy a house. I think the proof is in the pudding.
Yep, yep. But that's due to many budgets and crises and
Yes.
everything else. So that's fair.
Although it's looking like it might be okay for that later on the year, fingers crossed. The relationship one is the cliffhanger.
Was that your cliffhanger?
So-
I came in just for your cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I came in just as over to you, Barry, and I was like, over to Barry and Fraser, I think you'll find.
Yes. Well, I didn't know you were going to be here. Let's be fair.
I know.
So I was planning a one-man band. I wasn't expecting people with disappointed voices.
Added bonus.
Yeah. No, you're always a bonus, mate. You're always a bonus. And I tell you one thing. Oh my God! See that friggin' Frosty the Snowman? I was still in stitches every time.
I have not had the chance to watch it yet.
Have you not?
No, but I am very much looking. I have not had time to do anything, truth be told, because it's like it was Christmas. It was his first Christmas. We were doing everything practically every day, and then we were at, for Christmas Day we were at Siobhan's family. Boxing Day was a write off because we were knackered. We did because I drove us home from Fife on Christmas Day at like 9-10 o'clock at night, so we didn't get home till about 11:30. I was just wiped the next day, and the weather was atrocious on the road, so it was just like all of my concentration has to go into this.
Absolutely. No, I tried to go up to Stirling because Kirsty, friend of this channel, Kirsty, tried to get up. He lives in Tillicoochee or did. I know you're talking to the baby. It's fine. I know it's not me.
Yeah, sorry. I am listening to you. I am.
And that was the 30th. And of course, that was a day of lots of rain and everything being cancelled north of the Central Belt. In fact, everything being cancelled in Scotland by the time I got home. Jesus. I got as far as Queen Street and then everything got cancelled. So fortunately, buses were still running, so it was okay. But yeah, that wasn't fun.
Well, that's good. At least, at least you didn't get stranded somewhere. So
no,
that's
absolutely. But Frosty the Snowman, for you will be able to see the full extended version as a Patreon.
I will.
So
I'm a Patreon who's way behind in his Patreon payments, but I will catch up.
I didn't want to talk about that because as long as you're a patron on the 1st of every month, I don't care, which you are. So
I've no fear of admitting of my perpetual skinness. It's just the time of year. Like as a person who works in telly at this time of year, works thin on the ground. But there are things happening. There's things being put forward. There's things going into place slowly but surely. So hopefully by the end of January, I'll have some news.
I hope so. I really hope so because I think you need it this year. I really hope you get something big this year because I think you deserve it after all the.
It probably won't be Origins because we'll go back to your final resolution in a second, I promise. Or every time we speak to somebody about Origins, we get told that it's a £40 million show. I don't think it is. Judd's my producer in Australia doesn't think it's a £40 million show, but we need the right producing partner or production company somewhere in the world that's got enough clout that can confidently realise the show because it's a Scottish Torchwood or it's a Scottish Buffy, so it does need the money. So that would be the last show to go. But there's the animated show that's happening, and then there's a documentary that might be happening. So that one of them will go this year. So that'll be fine.
Yes, no, 40 million. I mean, that's a substantial. What was it? An 8-part series?
8 or 10. 8 or 10. We're flexible. If say it's a Netflix and they go, we want 8, it'll be 8. Or we go to Disney and they want 10, it'll be 10. Do you know what I mean? We can write 10, we can write 8.
No, there's no end point. Yeah.
No, exactly. There is an end game, but that's not for a few seasons. So,
yeah.
And then
it's just obviously with Doctor Who, projected budget of 10 million episode for the 8 they're doing.
Yes.
After the specials.
Yes.
a 40 million series for 8 episodes, still not silly money, really.
No,
in the scheme of things. But I understand why, because you have, and tell me off if I'm going too far here, but you have managed to do things, amazing things, on a very tight budget.
Yeah, but we did all the Cops and Monsters.
And still make sure people get paid the right money for it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Cops and Monsters, that was, everyone was getting a token, it was very much a token, because it was every episode, it was, here's the script, and then you spend a month crowdfunding it, and then you have to make sure the money comes in, then you spend 2 or 3 days shooting it, then you have to edit it in post-production and music and sound and effects, yada, 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 then you get it out, and then you have to go, right, next episode, and it's, rinse, repeat cycle. So, there was enough money to go around, which was great. But for Origins, for the scissor reel, yeah, everybody was on minimum wage, which was great. That was good. But yeah, no, yeah, we do what we can.
I mean, that's the thing people have got to appreciate, is that I understand you want to pay people, but there's only so much money you can get off your own back. And I mean, crowdfunding's a brilliant thing and it's helped you through, but it's that kind of understanding and the love of things as well. Go on.
Creative Scotland have outright said that they won't support me in anything that I want to do, and not so many words. They moved the goalposts twice, so they were first really excited to work with Judd and I on the animated series. And they were like, hey, you've got Judd, he's an international producer, he's got all these features under his belt, can't see us not being able to give you some development money. And then we did the application form and we had a few chats with them, and they're like, well, actually, Judd's only done films and he's in Australia, you need to get a Scottish producer who's worked on animation before. I'm like, well, you didn't tell us that, 5 months ago before we started doing all this. So they're like, yeah, so basically tick the box, but don't tick a box. We'll know if you're ticking a box. And we're like, but you're telling us to tick the box. So we went, okay, well, there's development money for a feature. I happen to be developing a Scottish mythological feature, not too far away from Origins, but not Origins. Set in the past, it's about the first king of Scotland and vampires. And we're like, great, Judd's an international producer with hundreds of released feature films. I'm maybe exaggerating, but a good slate of work behind him. He's just shot a $7 million film, and it's, bless you, Harrison, bless you. I'm
glad you clarified that every time there's a noise, just to make sure people aren't typing up saying, "What's this bloody sound for?"
It's the boy. He's doing very well right now.
He's behaving himself.
But yeah, so he did all that. So I went back to Creative Scotland. I said, well, look, okay, we're happy to put a pin in the animated show. We're doing this feature. Judd is obviously very experienced in that field, and they came back and said, no, we don't look at the producer for feature films. We look at the writers, and your credits aren't strong enough. Try Short Circuit, but we already took it to Short Circuit, and I said to Short Circuit, give me 20 grand or whatever to write the script, and I have a production company in Australia who will give me the money to make the film. And they still said no, so they can all go to hell.
I get the impression that Creative Scotland, Scottish Screen didn't have a good reputation for stuff, really.
Different name, same game.
Yes, and it's like Police Scotland. Strathclyde Police didn't have the best name either. And look what happened. Police Scotland's effectively used Strathclyde Policing's bands and training and things like that. Well, obviously not Tully Allen. Tully Allen was Central Police, but the whole even that's a regretful thing with the bloody Legionnaires. You hear about that?
No.
They've got Legionnaires in the water supply at Tully Allen, the training school up in Perthshire. So it's like, that's not fun.
That's unfortunate. But yeah, anyway, Creative Scotland, whatever, it's just one of those things. We'll go around them. We'll go around them and it'll be fine. Enough of that. Things are happening. What was your final resolution? Back to your cliffhanger.
Well, of course, the cliffhanger you know about, which is the relationship, which I'll mention in a minute. But the other resolution I mentioned in that video that you just missed is get the 400 subscribers. That didn't happen, but that was more a hope and a prayer than an actual want.
I pushed so hard to get you up to 400.
You did. No, you did. Thank you. And it hasn't. The number has not budged since the 1st of January. But it happens. It happens.
So what you up to?
345.
Okay. I mean, that's not too far off.
No, I'm happy with 345. It's still more than what I got the first 3 years of doing weekly uploads, so I can't complain.
I think you had a really good response to your first impressions of Power of the Doctor.
A really good response. There's only one video that actually beat it this year in regards to views. Or last year that went to views, but I won't. You have an idea what that one is, but I won't reveal it to the masses until the channel update in a few weeks' time. But
okay.
But I think you know which video I'm talking about.
Give me a hint.
Behind you.
Oh, aye, okay, aye, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
everybody else kind of problem now, but there we are.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, no. You'll get there. You'll absolutely get there.
I'll get there. I'm building every year. It's not like I'm being static, and I'm still
No.
putting stuff up. And oh my god, I don't know whether I can actually do the end of the year the way I'm planning, but we'll see what happens. But
And
yeah.
YouTube keeps changing their game. You know, they
Yeah.
keep changing how their algorithm work. And you're not a clickbaity person. You're not like a certain Doctor Who YouTuber out there who's got more leaks than public toilets has. So, you really should go see a doctor with the amount of leaks that he's having. So you're not relying on sensationalism. You're actually producing strong content that has a beginning, middle, and an end.
Content.
Well, that's strong content. I personally love your vlogs. I love it when you go to historical sites. I will sit down and watch that on a Monday or a Tuesday or whenever I get the chance to do it. I will make time to specifically watch it when you go to vlog. And I love the one that you did when you were going around all the people at the reenactment. Because I loved that one.
The Spiny Palace one was the best vlog last year, and I'll be honest with that now. That was the best vlog last year. Probably because a lot more eyeballs went on it, because I was able to promote that a bit more unembarrassingly with people who were involved in that vlog, you know? So,
yeah, and I think, yes, Harrison, we all agree with you. And
Yeah.
I think what was good about that one is that you were getting other people involved in it, and I think your channel is always at its strongest when there's other people involved in it.
Which is why the Kids Doctor has been so sparse the past couple of years, because I know it's a big winner.
Yes, and I'm always happy to do Kidstructor, so that's absolutely no problem. And Harrison's getting older, so it's easier to do stuff. So, for example, we gave our boy food today for the first time.
Ooh. What's he having? Is it just the mashed baby food?
It's in a pouch, and it's banana and apple.
Ah, right, okay, good start.
So you got a teaspoon of banana and apple, because he's getting to that age now where he's getting his proper milk that he should be getting, and he's still hungry. Mm-hmm. So, and you're not allowed to give them over a certain amount of milk because it will stretch their stomach, and that's all a bad thing. So yeah, he's a month early, more or less, but he's showing signs. So we've started him today. So that was fun. To see his face as he had flavour for the first time. But yeah, no. I like your vlogs that when you go out and do things. I like that. And I even though there was nothing for you to do, I loved it when you went up to middle of nowhere, but it took you like 2 trains to get there. And
Karoo with Andy.
Yeah,
it worked because of Andy being there as the bounce off.
Yeah,
I don't think it would have worked without Andy there, to be fair.
But his fault was really nice, and it was nice to see that. Anyway, we're getting off topic. This is what happens. I derail your thing. Your perennial failure.
My perennial failure, which I'll talk about in a minute. But we'll go into... I just wanted to do another section about the Facebook birthdays before we get into that, because it's going to be quite a bit of...
crack on. Your vlog. I'll sit not so silently, eating a cake.
Well, yes, as I say, I'll go for it in a minute. There are a couple of names here you might recognise in the Facebook birthdays for wishing happy birthdays this time round.
Okay.
So Facebook birthdays this time round, I've got my friend Paul, who turns 40 next Sunday, and I'm going to his party on Saturday, so that'll be interesting.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Happy birthday, Paul. One of my reenactment friends, Davey, his birthday's on the 18th.
Happy birthday.
And then Daniel, I don't know if you know him. He was a kind of Who fan reenactor thing, but he kind of like playing Captain Jack a bit with his cosplays.
No, don't know. No.
His birthday's on the 19th.
Happy birthday.
Reenactment friend Susan on the 20th. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Sue.
And then we have definite friend of the channel, who I last spoke to in August, Arthur.
Happy birthday, Arthur.
Happy birthday, Arthur.
After sent me a very nice New Year's Day
Did
message.
he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got a birthday card from Robert this year, so
No,
I
it's
guessed. So
Yeah, I noticed it.
not birthday card,
No,
Christmas
card. Yeah, I remember that.
Get confused now. And then
What?
the other. Sorry, go on.
No. You off? No. Before you finish your Facebook birthdays, let me know when you finished, and before you move on, I want to ask you something. So crack on.
And then 2 more birthdays. I've got 2 reenactment mates. One, Yvonne's on the 7th of February. Happy birthday. And Pauline with her little puppet Fizz and her little daughter Molly on the 10th. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
So there we are. Facebook birthdays are there. So what was it you were going to mention, sir?
when you do your this is what I was going to mention, but when you do your Facebook birthdays, you should have a little tag intro thing. They get like a little video up. It's Facebook birthday time. No, so when is your next significant birthday? Is it this year or is it next year?
My significant birthday is in October, and
Right,
I'm away to Portugal.
Sorry.
I'm actually in Portugal the day of the birthday.
Nice, because I couldn't tell. I was trying to figure out who was older between you and I was convinced it was you.
Me.
I couldn't
by 5 months.
Not by much. Absolutely.
Exactly. Well, effectively more or less 5 months. Exactly. You're a couple of days shy of the 5th, but
yeah, and Siobhan's mum's the 5th of March, so March is busy, and Six Nations is on at that time, so it's always good fun.
Yeah, it's always good fun.
But yeah, I couldn't remember.
Yes, this is the year of turning 40, and I've made a pledge to myself last year. I do not intend to be in the UK on my 40th birthday, and that's now booked. The holiday was booked yesterday, so
nice.
I'm off to Lisbon.
Nice.
So, new vloggage, Lisbon holiday vloggage coming at the end of this year, beginning of next year.
Go get drunk on your 40th birthday. Is it just you, or you take the parentals going, or
the family? It's the. As you know, I've done a couple of vlogs in the past. The vlog to Krakow was to celebrate Mum's 60th, so it was the folks and my sister and me that went, and then the trip to Dubrovnik was for my sister's 30th. Again, the folks and me. This time around it's different because my sister's partner's coming with us, so there's actually 5 of us this time.
Nice.
But it's only fair. He's a great guy. He's a great laugh. It's only fair asking him to come along under the circumstances. And actually, the day before I come up to Glenrothes area for a certain wedding in June,
I was about to say
he's invited me down to a 40s day in Dumfries on the Saturday. So I'll need to maybe get some styling tips from Mr. O'Gallagher here.
Yes, I nearly said, "Oh, I'm having something in Glenrothes."
Yes, that time has been booked off. Lisbon and your wedding are the only times I've actually booked off from work. The rest gets done on Monday. So
you should also probably put the 22nd of April in your diary.
Oh, is that going to be stag? Is it?
Yes, it is.
Well, that's a Saturday. It's fine. I don't work Saturdays, and I've got the Sunday to recover. So that's fine.
Right, you perennial failure. Talk away.
Right, yes, perennial failure. Yes, let's get
skirting round the issue.
I'm not skirting around the issue. We're having a conversation. We're going off topic. That's what we do.
Blah blah blah. Get to the business.
So the perennial failure of the relationship. Let's see whether
Don't
I
laugh,
met
Harrison.
it last
Don't
year.
laugh.
Yes, here we go.
Mean. That's mean, Harrison. Carry on.
All right, here we go. I think you know the thing with the Skype, mate. I'll be there in a minute. Right, cheers.
Hello?
You'll need to mute.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Used to these sort of shots,
drum roll.
backgrounds of a
Sorry,
famous
I'll
country house or castle or something. This is Torrens House, which is the home of the Maxwells, and was the original headquarters for the East Kilbride Development Corporation before it became into private ownership, partially private ownership, partially council owned as part of the country park. But we have one resolution to go, which is number 5, which is be in a relationship. As I alluded to in 2022, when I mentioned about it for the resolutions for last year, I did state that I'd been dating and not much more. That effectively still the case. It has been dating, although I feel up here more happy. And I'm kind of thinking, why has it not come to fruition? And I think one of the main reasons is the pressure that I set myself every year, have done since 2017, to be in a relationship as part of these resolutions. And it is one of the catalysts for me not doing the resolutions for 2023. One, because they're samey, and two, because it's not something I want the pressure on. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen, and there is groundwork, but nothing substantial. So that resolution has failed again, and is the perennial failure, 100%. Anyway, apart from that, that's it for the resolutions for 2022. As I say, there is no resolutions for 2023, but that might change for 2024, you never know. But yeah, let's get back to live stream and a bit more chat from me.
And Fraser. Yes. That's going to be interesting. Put that on the clip. But there we are. Can you hear me, sir?
I can. I'm behind. I'm watching it on the telly, and there's like.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. There's a delay of about 20 seconds. Yeah, sorry.
So yes, back to you and me. Yeah. See, I think that makes far more sense, Barry. And I think the less pressure, the minute you go looking for something, you very rarely find it. So I think that is a very wise decision, because if you make it a resolution, it's a task, or it's something that you have to do. That's pressure on you. It's pressure on your mindset. And that will come across in any dating, any messaging, any chatting or whatever that you do. So I think rather than going, oh, okay, I've got to hit it this time, just let it happen. And I think the minute you take the pressure off yourself, I think you'll find it a hell of a lot easier.
Yes, and that's part of the reason. But as I stated there as well, the resolutions are samey. I'm not setting anything different. So I'm meeting the same things all the time and then not meeting the stuff I'm not. And it's putting pressure elsewhere. So leave it for a year, as I say, and just see how it goes, and then maybe restart it next year.
Yeah,
but this year's got so many other things on. I don't want to be putting extra pressure on setting 5 resolutions, you know.
But also, don't feel that you can't, and you're going to say that you don't anyway. But don't feel that you can't go on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. I'm starting to forget them, and chat with anyone that you match with. Don't feel like, well, I'm taking it off my resolutions this year, so there's no pressure on me.
No. I'm still doing. I have been doing that. I have been chatting to people, but it's not got any further than just a hi, how you doing, a couple of days of conversation. So it's not got to the dating stage.
And it does. These things fizzle quite quick. 9 times out of 10 they fizzle, because obviously it has to. Because it is, there'll be a person that it doesn't fizzle with, and that's what you're waiting on. So.
Yes. I mean, but as I say, I'm a lot more active in the dating scene than I have been the previous couple of years. So it's building. I just don't want that extra pressure of saying, this is the year, this is what I'm going to do, you know? Because if I take the pressure off, I'll have a house by the end of the year. I may have a relationship by the end of the year. I may have the 500 subscribers by the end of the year. You know, that sort of thing. And that's the thinking. Because I know the easy ones I can do are weight loss and freaking going to historical sites.
Yeah.
They're just like maintaining resolutions. They're not really challenges.
No.
So just take the rest off and see how it goes. And that was the thinking behind it for this year, and not to do it. And I know you were disappointed because you were waiting for it on New Year's Day and it didn't happen. It was the best of it compilation instead.
It's fine. It's worth the wait.
Yeah. Oh, I think so. And it's been, and I'm trying now with the live streams to have at least one pre-prepared video that I can put as a clip.
Yeah.
It's just the random talking crap, because I think that's actually helping with views. Because the unboxing video from last month, that did excellent views, and it's not often you get a video that does that.
Yeah, no, I like your unboxing video, and season 2 is one I definitely want to get a hold of at some point.
Oh, I've seen some of the stuff already, and it's just nice having a Blu-ray player with a Blu-ray in it, because it's up there, and I've not actually really utilised it much, you know. So
Jamie's really good at, like, when he gets the box set, he'll watch it and then drop it off at mine.
Yeah, that's how you see them. Yes, I know that. But I don't have the space to have much. So when I buy something, it has to be an occasion as such, because I don't have the space at the moment to buy all the DVDs. Otherwise, I'd have the whole collection behind me.
No,
I keep pointing that way, not so that way. But
no, I'm the same as you. I'm like 5 seconds behind you. I'm seeing you point after you said that you point. Because I've got the screen on and the TV's muted, so I can see what's going on. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't buy everything and anything like I used to do, because I just don't have that in my life anymore, because, there's someone else who gets all the things that he needs. And but I pre-ordered the Jodie Whittaker, David Tennant Regeneration box set that was announced in Doctor Who Day because I wanted it, and it was, you know, I'm not overly. This is horrible. I'm not overly fussed about the 13th Doctor with all of the costume parts on her.
Yeah, fair enough.
And it's not because I'm not a fan of the 13th Doctor. I very much am, but I have 3 figures from Jodie already. It was the 14th Doctor that excited me, and I wasn't sure if they're going to release that on its own.
Yeah, that's the thing. We are going to get into a Doctor Who review in a minute. You know what's coming as part of the archival video, so it's actually a good time to talk about Doctor Who.
See? Segway.
A segue indeed. In regards to the rumours that have been going on, and it's a nickel and Methlin article, so there's a bit more credence to it potentially. The Mirror
She's
journalist.
99% right.
Yeah, which is that they're going to colour. Now, I don't like the idea of colourising. I don't like that idea, but I do like the idea they're going to try and tie off the 2 season 4 stories they haven't animated yet, the Underwater Menace and the Smugglers, because that makes me think they're prepping for a collection box set.
I suppose by colorising the episodes, it gives it something special, so when it does come to the 60th anniversary, they can put out something quote-unquote new, and because maybe they will put it out on BBC One. You know, they might have, like, do you remember when BBC Two did Who Night? Maybe they're planning something like that, but bigger.
Yeah.
And that's a good hook, because you'll have people who remember watching that episode in black and white when it went out, and you'll have new fans who've never seen it before. So, because like, say what you will about Jodie's era, bless you, my child. Say what you will about Jodie's era, it did bring in a wave of new younger fans.
Yes.
So it'll be good for them to see what came before. And you don't have this whole gatekeeping nonsense of, I've been a Doctor Who fan longer than you, so I know better, blah, blah, blah. You're a fan. But it'll be good to see what's come before we see what's coming next.
Yeah, it's not gatekeeping from my part, it's just preference.
Oh, no, I'm not
They
saying...
can do what they like. They can do what they like. I'm not.
I'm not even referring to how dare you colorise the episodes. I'm just saying it's a hook. That it's a hook to get people watching it, and if they're going to be spending the money on Doctor Who, which thank God they finally are, sense has prevailed. If only there was other people in our lives that could see sense for things, then things would be a lot simpler. But it certainly is a hook, and I love that they're doing animations as well. So hopefully that's not the end of the animations like we thought it might have been.
No, they're not. But I watched a video from Rob Ritchie getting interviewed the other day. You know,
was that from Josh Nares by any chance?
Yes. Yes. I couldn't remember who was interviewing. I remember it was Rob Ritchie. But yes, Josh Nares interviewed Rob Ritchie.
Jamie fancies him.
No, I bet he does. But it was a tight budget at the time to do it, and a tight time frame.
Yeah.
And I understand the power of the Daleks, why it was such a tight time, why there's mistakes, because obviously they thought about it last minute, effectively. But the rest of the animations, I possibly probably would have been happy for them to leave it a little bit longer between each release to make sure that it's the best they could make, because I get the impression that some of the later ones, it is a bit iffy.
Yeah. No, I agree. Sorry, I'm attacking my child's feet.
Yeah.
But I agree with you completely. And I'm excited. Barry, I'm just happy we're getting more Doctor Who content.
Absolutely, no, I'm pleased with that. And the animations in colour, that's fine, because that's the selling point, you know. But colorizing the original stuff, I'm just not. I don't. It's nice seeing the clips that Babe O'Connor's done in the past and things like that, and I get that, and I understand the Pertwee stuff was cut. Some of the Pertwee episodes were colorized for the same, you know.
Yeah.
But they were originally in colour, so that makes sense. But the black and white stuff was black and white, and my preference would be to keep that the real way it originally was, because I've never been a great fan of having colorized stuff. I don't like watching the colorized version of It's a Wonderful Life. I'd watch the original black and white version.
Yeah, that's
that
absolutely
sort of
fair.
idea.
I had never done Doctor Who 1963 onwards in order, and when Harrison was literally brand new, a few days old, Siobhan and I would take it in turns to go nap in between times. But Harrison would just sleep then anyway, because he was I miss those days when you would sleep all the time. So like he would be in his basket, and I would literally, you know, was on BritBox and I was watching it from the start, and that was the first time I'd never seen the episode beyond in the serial, An Unearthly Child. I'd never seen the other 3 episodes before.
They're not bad.
But
They're really
they're
not
not
that
bad at all, and I really enjoy the relationship between Barbara and Ian, and Susan, and I love. So yeah, I didn't get very far. I didn't even get to the end of season 1, but I will get back to it, and I will absolutely. But Siobhan and I are rewatching the modern era, and we've just got to Matt Smith. So
You've got a bit to go then.
yeah, but she's never seen Capaldi properly before.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited to get to Capaldi. One of the rumours I did like recently was Russell T Davis on Instagram commenting on a post about Susan when she leaves the TARDIS, and Russell said, "Wonder whatever happened to her." And you're like, "Oh, Russell, you tease." But that is the difference between Russell and Chibnall straight away. Is that Russell actively wants to promote the show, and it wasn't a BBC decision to not promote the Chibnall era. Chibnall just had this laughable defence of, "I will keep it secret, no one will know anything about it." They wouldn't give away an air date, even though everybody had already figured out an air date for when it was coming back on and stuff. It was just crazy. And they go, "Oh, well, we can't understand why the viewing figures were so low." I was like, "We didn't friggin' promote it."
And it isn't like the BBC didn't want to carry on with it. I think the interviews in the Doctor Who magazine this issue, I don't know if you've read that yet.
No.
Made it very clear from the team, the Bad Wolf team, and because it had Julie Gardner, Jane Shanter, Russell, and Phil Collinson being interviewed by Benjamin Cook.
Yeah.
And they thanked Emily Cook, by the way, for the whole idea of getting the band back together. But
well, it was her. It was.
It was her idea. Absolutely.
She was the catalyst because, and I knew Liz back, January last year, I think it was. And it was, Catherine texting David and saying, "God, wasn't that fun? Wouldn't it be fun to do it again?" And they let Russell know, and Russell was like, "Well, I'll see what the BBC are thinking." And here we are.
Yeah, because the impression I got from that interview, and I'm telling you one thing, it's the reading of these articles in the Doctor Who magazine is a hell of a lot better than it had been the previous few years, because there seemed to be more involvement in getting involved with the magazine again.
But Russell was a fan of the magazine in the first place.
Absolutely.
He was an absolute champion. I'm hearing that it's Russell who's predominantly wrote season 14, and I think Moffat's written 1 or 2. Or he's
I
writing.
thought it'd been out of ideas, but now, to be fair, he did knock his pad out for 7 years.
Yeah, but he's not running it, and I always thought Moffat was a better writer of Doctor Who when he was not running it.
Yeah.
Personal opinion. So whether or not he's writing 1 episode for season 14, 1 episode for season 15, I don't know. But I do know that he's wrote at least 1 episode. And you know what? I'm excited to see what Moffat brings to Doctor Who after being away from it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we will absolutely see. We'll absolutely see what the future holds. But I'm so excited because this year we've got David and Catherine, and Neil Patrick Harris, for God's sake, one of the finest. If you've not seen his Netflix sitcom comedy series, sorry, it's not a sitcom.
Sorry, parental interruptions. Carry on.
Tut. Get a red light on your door, Barry. Do not enter this room.
I do, but they ignore it. It's like, this is our house. We can come in what we like. No, you can't.
Well, you'll be buying your own house soon. But we got 3 specials this year, and then Shooty and Millie the year after, and that's just very exciting because I think they're going to be amazing together.
I think it'll work. I think it'll work brilliantly. But yeah, no. Going back to the article of Doctor Who magazine, because we did sidestep slightly. I get the impression that the BBC really wants to do more with it, and Chibnall just wasn't really willing to go further than just make the series and that's it.
Yes, I have it on good authority from the previous brand manager that he was told by the Chibnall team that they didn't believe in doing as much marketing as he did. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, he wasn't given a reason.
Yeah. I mean, there were flaws to the later Moffat era, but there's reasons behind it. The flaws of the Chibnall era were purely self-made.
Yeah. And, and it was Jodie that suffered the most out of that.
Mm-hmm. Which is such a shame because I've just rewatched the Witchfinders and edited the review for that for next month.
An absolutely phenomenal episode.
Apart from the last 10 minutes.
An absolutely phenomenal episode, but it's just. Can you imagine her being, the Doctor under Russell? Mm-hmm. It would have been an absolutely completely different ballgame. So,
Absolutely.
but alas, we digress yet again.
We do a little
I'm
bit.
very excited for the next couple of years. I'm sure there's more surprises coming our way that we just don't know about yet.
Yes, I think there's a few more surprises in what we've got, and they've effectively now confirmed Beat the Meep. So I do think there's more suggestion that Neil Patrick Harris is the toy maker.
Potentially. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Interestingly, someone pointed out, and it might have been Ellie
Fairchild from
from
Who Culture,
who I think she said that you can, or it might have been Sean Ferrick, but that Neil Patrick Harris's coat is the same pattern, I think, as the 14th Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. But I'm really excited for Miriam Margolyes' Meep.
Yes, it was Miriam.
So we'll wait and see. They're going to be epic episodes.
I think they will. I think they'll be great.
But Russell did say that, the background, he's like, well, sometime tell me what the hell's going on here. He's admitted that that's a fake false background. He said because if they did reveal the background, it would be really obvious what it was. So already there's intrigue. And we've seen lots of photos of this giant slug that Jamie thought was creatures from Frontios.
Mm-hmm. The Tractators.
That's it. So we will just have to wait and see.
But there's one. If you haven't got the Doctor Who magazine yet, I suggest you do, because the comic strip is starting to give me ideas that it's supposed to be a continuation from the Regeneration, the official continuation.
Yes.
There's hints coming already about potentially what the anniversary is going to be in the story as it is at the moment. So I suggest you maybe have a look at that.
Yes, Jamie dropped off the last two issues, so I imagine he'll drop off the third.
Yeah. There are hints. The third instalment is already giving hints to what the anniversary special is going to be like and where we are. So it's I'm giving everybody teasers and giving Fraser teasers, but then again, Fraser's getting more teasers in those respects than normal because he's not had the time to go with these sort of things. So
don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I have a source. I get my information pretty bang on.
Yeah. Oh, you did. I mean, we were talking about that with the power of the Daleks, and you're talking about these elements. You didn't know how they were going to be executed, and they were executed quite well. But you made it clear those are the elements way in advance.
Quite right. Barry's going to put his next video on. I'm going to go make a bottle. Thanks
for the segue. That will help. Yes. Now, the next video is, of course, the Doctor Who review. One interesting visual feature here, which I'm now embarrassed about 2.5 years later, but it is the review for Arc of Infinity.
Enjoy.
Hello everybody and welcome to another Doctor Who review. This time I'm reviewing a story from the 5th Doctor, Peter Davison, and this time he goes to Amsterdam. Arc of Infinity, the first story of season 20 of Doctor Who. And as always, I have here the television companion, so I'm about to go read the synopsis for this story. An antimatter creature has crossed into normal space via a phenomenon known as the Arc of Infinity, but needs to bond physically with a Time Lord in order to remain stable. A traitor on Gallifrey has chosen the Doctor as the victim. A High Council, headed by President Barusa, decides that the Doctor's life must be terminated in order to avoid this danger. Tegan, meanwhile, arrives in Amsterdam to visit her cousin, Colin Fraser, only to learn that he has disappeared. She enters a crypt in search of him and is captured by a hideous creature, the Ergon. On Gallifrey, the traitor is revealed as Councillor Hedin, and his master as a legendary Time Lord figure Omega, who has been trapped for centuries in the universe of antimatter. Omega seizes control of the Matrix. The Doctor, however, is able to trace him to Amsterdam thanks to clues received via the Matrix from Tegan, who has been taken to Omega's TARDIS by the Ergon. Omega's body is turning into a replica of the Doctor's, but the bonding is incomplete, and there will soon be a massive explosion as he reverts to antimatter. The Doctor, Nyssa and Tegan chase Omega through Amsterdam and eventually corner him. Omega wills his own destruction, but the Doctor fires the Ergon's matter converter at him, and he fades harmlessly away. So, Arc of Infinity. We have the first story of Peter Davison's second season as a Doctor, season 20 of Doctor Who. This is the season where there's a recurring enemy in every story. They kind of get away with that with the Guardians halfway through the series. So it's kind of weird the way they do that. But it's not a bad wee start. I enjoy the story. I've got a slight soft spot for it, but it's not the strongest of Doctor Who stories, and I'll admit that straight off. It is a little bit lacking at times, and the first couple of episodes do bore me a little bit with some of the politics that goes on Gallifrey. Overall, though, it's an enjoyable enough romp. A lot of running, as Doctor Who would have at that point, and a lot of running in Amsterdam. Locations that are used are not too bad, but there are better examples in Classic Who of foreign locations being used. It is the first time the Doctor has been abroad in 3 years, 4 years almost, because City of Death was the first time that Doctor Who went abroad, and that was in Paris. Same idea though, running around streets, they're not really going anywhere in that respect. They use the transportation system a little bit better in City of Death than they do in Arc of Infinity. They could have used the tram to get places, a few places I suppose, but there we are. But that's just the nature of the story. It is a promotional thing as much as anything else, and as much as you may not like John Nathan Turner for his producership, he was very good at being canny in his marketing of the programme and keeping it in the public eye, and certainly this is an example of that. Overall though, let's go into the cast and just see what each of the main cast members, I thought of them, what their acting style was and the characters. Let's start off, of course, with the Doctor, Peter Davison. He's certainly settled into the role by now, and I think he works best here in regards to his companions he has, because he's got with him Nyssa, who I personally think is the companion that would have fitted the Fifth Doctor better. She's quite placid and very intelligent. It's very akin to Romana and the Fourth Doctor in regards to their relationship, in regards to the scientific element of it. There's not as any flirtation there. He sees her as a little sister, and there's not a potential partner or best friend in that respect, like he would in Sarah Jane Smith or people like Ace, a friend as such. It's more like a teacher-mentor functionality here. But Peter plays it well. He's got a bit of a dual role here at the 4th episode as well, because he plays Omega when Omega transforms, and also obviously the Doctor as well. It's solid enough, and Peter Davison always brings a good performance in what he does, and I don't understand why some people don't quite like the Fifth Doctor's portrayal. He's calmed down from the visitation time, and he's probably not been antagonised, I suppose the thing is, because Tegan's not there for most of it, so he's kind of not antagonised by Tegan as much, and you see the softer, gentler side of the Fifth Doctor, which I quite enjoy in this story when you have just Nyssa on board. Speaking of Nyssa, Sarah Sutton, one of my favourite companions, Nyssa, very genteel, very pretty, but that's always been my personal opinion, and actually shines in this one. She's given a lot of meaty stuff to do, and the pleading bit after just when the Doctor gets sentenced for termination, the 2nd episode is very well performed, yeah, she is a little bit petulant when she realises when she thinks the Doctor's dead, and her reaction to some of the High Council. But what do you expect? Her best friend has just been killed, and she's on her own effectively, which is really sorrowful. But Sarah Sutton makes a great performance, and I think this is her story. I feel sorry for her though, because it sounds like, from what I'm hearing from anecdotes, she didn't like the running bit, and you can see every single shot Nyssa is about 5 lengths behind the other two. It's a bit bad at times, but overall it's not a horrible performance. It's quite a charming performance, and certainly the best that Sarah Sutton has to do since the visitation, in my personal opinion. The last time Nyssa had something relevant to do and interesting to do was the visitation, and this is the first time since then that she's actually done something which I think really fits in with her character and really works. Then we've got Jeanette Fielding is back with Tegan. She didn't appear to the 2nd episode. Now, if you don't know, Time Flight, she kind of got abandoned by the Doctor at Heathrow, because the Doctor thought that she wanted to work, go back to her airline job, because that's what the whole plot point and arc was of the first series, of season 19, was Tegan wanted to get back to Heathrow. The Doctor does it and leaves her. But then Tegan arrives in Amsterdam, happens to meet up with the Doctor. She is key to the Doctor finding Omega on Earth at the time, where it is and who it is and why. And the Doctor's managing to get to find Omega through Tegan, so she has been a useful plot point here. And to be fair, Tegan's not annoying here. Jeanette Fielding has always played Tegan brilliantly, and as an enjoyable companion, even though she grates a little bit. She's got spots that maybe Nicola Bryant's Perry doesn't in regards to the irritability. It's reason irritability. It's more like a concern and a worry. Janet Fielding plays it quite well, and I love the fact that her and Robin Stewart, who we'll get to later, she kind of works like a pseudo doctor with him and tries to help him find her cousin in that respect, and I quite like that dynamic you've got there. Then you've got some of the guest cast. You've got Lennox Sachs, a well-known actor, playing Barusa. Understated, but regal. This is certainly a gentler Barusa than we've seen in the previous 2 occasions we've seen him in Invasion of Time and The Deadly Assassin. He's not as pompous here. He does have a good authority with him, and when he needs to be ruthless, he is ruthless, and he plays it very well, and it's an enjoyable watch to see. You then got Michael Gough, who plays Hedden. Michael Gough's not a stranger to Doctor Who. He played the Celestial Toymaker back in the 60s, and it's a nice little turn here, nice restrained turn. A misguided Time Lord, I suppose, when in fact he's bringing Omega back and causing all sorts of untold destruction. But his heart's in the right place in some respects, and Michael Gough plays him well. You've then got the great guest character of Omega. Ian Collier takes over from Stephen Thorne here, and his voice just makes the part. It sounds a little muffled behind the mask, but do you know what? It's a brilliant voice, and it's a brilliant portrayal of Omega, and makes him seem more sinister than the shouty man that you get in the Three Doctors. And he plays it quite brilliantly, and I like Ian Collier's portrayal of Omega over Stephen Thorne's in that respect. And if you ever get to listen to the Big Finish audio drama Omega, he uses his voice to its full potential in that, and he really is engaging. He's an engaging enemy, and I love the characterization of Omega, that he wants to come home, which is fair enough, and then when he does get a taste of being back in this reality, he enjoys the surroundings of Amsterdam. I love the hurdy-gurdy scene where they're doing the when he's listening to the hurdy-gurdy, and this boy turns around and smiles at him, and kind of akin to Frankenstein's monster, which is really lovely, and I like that. Point to him in that respect. Then we've got the biggest guest casting, and probably the most interesting guest casting, Colin Baker as Maxwell. Now, obviously, Colin Baker hadn't become the Doctor yet; that was still in his future. But my God, he makes it. I mean, Maxwell is a job's worth, and he's a bit of a job's worth as well, and that will be beeped, I think. But do you know what? It's really enjoyable. Yeah, it's a little bit OTT, and I'm not going to turn around and say otherwise. But do you know what? I can tolerate it, and I really do tolerate it. And I think Colin Baker does a good turn as Maxwell in that respect. And yeah, all power to him, because it's an interesting performance that's put forward here by Colin Baker, and it does work. It certainly does work for the need and the want of the part. And yeah, this you kind of love to hate him in this story, which is really nice in that respect. You then got the other High Council members. You've got Paul Jericho, who plays Castellan, very slimy, very establishment centered, very security centered. I like Paul Jericho's part of this, and I love the fact he comes back later on in the Five Doctors. I did enjoy it's not as enjoyable in the Five Doctors as here. I love his scheming and the way he's trying to get down to the bottom of this, and the fact he wrongly assumes the Doctor's involved in getting Omega back when it first becomes apparent. You've then got Elspeth Gray with Thalia. She's okay. Dignified performance. She doesn't really do much apart from that loop that she puts in to help the Doctor, pulse loop that the Doctor uses to get away from Gallifrey, so Omega doesn't detect him in part 4. Then you've got Max Harvey, who plays Zorak, and Zorak is the one which I love that little reference he has, where as soon as the Doctor comes back, there's always violence on Gallifrey. He always causes the violence, and then Hedden has to correct him and say, no, well, if you give him an armed guard, what do you expect? And I do like that part. And yeah, he's just a ranting civil servant, effectively, at the end of the day. But it's played quite well by Max Harvey, and I quite liked it. Then you've got Neil Dalglish, who plays Damon. And Damon is he Android-esque? Maybe, I don't know. But he's a lower functionary when it comes to store. What is it? Is it security, or is it? I can't. It's not really clear what his role is, but he plays it well enough, and it's not an offensive performance. Then you've got Andrew Boxer, who plays Robin Stewart, who actually is a little bit grating in the first part, because he's kind of like, yeah, we'll find this place, this is lovely, let's go here. But he comes in his own when he's working with Tegan, and Andrew Boxer plays him quite nicely. And then you've got Alistair Cumming, who plays Colin Fraser, Tegan's cousin. Doesn't really do much. He's effectively a zombie for most of the story, and is a bit wet, which is a bit weird for an Aussie. But he's a bit wet, and he's kind of ineffectual. But Alistair Cumming plays the character well enough. And then you've got honourable mention to Malcolm Harvey, who plays Yergon. Not the best design of Doctor Who. It looks like, I love the fact it's been referenced in the story, it's one of Omega's less successful creations, because Omega is known for making things from his will. And I love that kind of meta comment that comes in there from the rubbishness of the design, comes in from a comment from the Doctor saying it wasn't the best effort ever. And yeah, it's not ideal. It's not fun. Production wise, it's pretty solid. A lot of running down corridors, and Ron Jones does the running corridors things quite well. I'm not quite sure of the Gallifrey setting though, because it looks like just basically a couple of alcoves with lighting and sofas, alongside some very 80s aesthetic architecture, and it's functional. It serves a purpose. The debating chamber and the termination chamber are not too badly done, but overall the design is not ideal. The best design is actually the crypt where Omega is residing. That's actually quite good. And when Doctor Who does gothic stuff, especially older looking stuff, it certainly works better than the more modern, futuristic stuff that they have on Gallifrey. Story overall is not badly written. It's a lot more scientific based than what you get with some of the stories of this part of Peter Davison's time. It's written by Johnny Byrne, who created Nyssa, in Nyssa Tarkin, and he's put together quite well. He was told you got to include Amsterdam. He puts the contrivance of the Arc Infinity being at this part is in Amsterdam, which helps Omega go between worlds. That's an interesting point. The music by Roger Lim, it's not ideal. This is okay for Roger Lim. Some of his later stuff with his very sawtooth synth is a little bit grating at times, although of course Roger Lim did the music for Caves of Androzani, so he can do good stuff. And the Tulips of Amsterdam music you hear when you first see Amsterdam and the scene setting is actually quite nice. It's more, it's not really any tunes as such. It's more like leitmotifs to the music and just punctuation of the scenes, which is fairly much what you get at this time. You don't really get much bombasticness unless you don't really get much bombasticness of scores. That's more Peter Howell's thing. But yeah, no, it's ineffectual. It's okay, and it works okay for me. But overall, it's enjoyable. I'll watch it. Although this time round, when I watched it, I was a little bored for a bit of part 1 and a bit of part 2. But I started getting to it from part 3. So maybe it's the move. Sometimes I enjoy it, sometimes I don't. And that's probably why I'm going to do an straight down the middle 3 TARDISes out of 5.
Hello, hello. Right, okay. Hello, everybody. We are, but you're now sounding, so I can hear you now. Hello.
Hello. I have a boy on my knee. I have my boy on my knee, and he's drinking his bottle.
Yeah, quite right too. Yeah, the biggest thing that struck me in that one is the beard.
I was going to say,
My
was the embarrassing
God.
element your beard?
I can't believe how much I could actually grow a beard. That was when I decided not to trim a beard until I could go to hairdressers and
I was going to say,
lockdown.
was that a lockdown beard?
It was a lockdown beard, yeah.
That...
It's also the most hair I've had in my head in years as well, but that's a different matter. But... oh, someone's not very happy. Oh dear.
Oh, it was because he was just a little bit bumpy.
But yeah, no, Ark Infinity, I don't mind it, but it is a straight down line 3 out of 5, I think, for me. But it's one of these stories, I think. But
Was
yeah.
there a... He needs a burp. Was there a professional reason why... Hello, sweetheart. Was there a professional reason why Keegan disappears for a bit and then comes back? So she meets up again as the doctor in Amsterdam?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just a case of, oh, that's a nice little cliffhanger to end the season after such a rubbish story of time flight.
Because
She's always contracted.
Yeah,
so-
no, I just wondered if it was like, if there was a reason for it, that she go on a holiday and she couldn't do episodes. I don't know. It's just weird that she disappeared and then just came back the next episode.
Yes, I think it was more an artificial arc than more than anything else. I don't think it was actually any contractual reasons
Yes.
for it. But...
It's funny. He likes to get involved in the conversation.
Oh, Harrison. Yes, he's
Yes.
busy. He's busy talking over us. Yes, I noticed that.
Yeah, he's just looking. I'm carrying him about, and he's just smiling at my face.
Ah.
Yes, you are. If there are any, I was going to ask you anyway. Hello, sweetheart. Are there any doctors that you revisit less than the others?
I have had the luxury of seeing every single Doctor Who story of the television run.
Yes.
I think the one I don't visit as much as I could do, and this is going to be a big opinionated. This is going to be a big shocker to people. Is Tom Baker.
Yeah, I get that. It's too long.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's good in the role, but you can see that he's a bit transparent when he's actually can be bothered and when he can't.
Yeah, and didn't he go in every season going, oh, this will be my last, and he expected to go and talk him out of it?
Yes, and then John David Turner said, right, sod you then, bye.
And he went, oh, no, I didn't mean it. Oh, no, too late. We're worried about regeneration. He just, obviously he's, everyone's favourite, everyone has their own favourite, but for a while, he was, the Doctor, that's who everyone knew was the Doctor. Where now I feel like everyone knows David Tennant was the Doctor. But I feel like Tom Baker just stayed too long.
Yeah. I mean, for a while, John Pertwee was the one I wouldn't watch a lot of because I was because when I went through the series in orders, I did watch it in order.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff just it was either the mood or just the nature of the stories at the time. The format was fine in season 7, and then 8 and 9 was a little bit meh if you were on Earth. The Earth-based stories were starting to look a bit dry.
Yeah,
it's more exciting being off Earth,
Pertwee's era had a very specific feel to it that the others don't have. Apart from, I'd say, Matt Smith's first season has a very particular feel to it, and then it becomes Doctor Who. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I get that. I don't understand why there's all the suddenly there's a lot of David Tennant hate in the community. No, I'm not saying it's certainly not all of it, but there's a small group of voices who are just like, oh, David Tennant again. I'm like, he hasn't been in it for 10 years.
Yes. He hasn't been in it for 10 years. There's a reason behind it. They're not just doing another multi-Doctor story where he just turns up like he did last time,
No, and I don't think we will see other Doctors apart from Chuty in the upcoming specials.
No. I think Chris has effectively covered that with Power of the Doctor.
Exactly. And even then, it was nice to see the old guard in it, but they didn't have enough to do.
Well, 2 of them definitely didn't have enough to do.
Yes.
I mean, Colin was short shrifted, as far as I'm concerned.
again.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I get why they're bringing David back. It fitted in with Chuty's contract in the first place. And also Tennant is the Tom Baker of this generation. So, and he's also the nation's sweetheart. So you would want to bring back in David for the anniversaries because he's a safe pair of hands.
Yeah.
And you're guaranteed to get people watching.
Well, that was the whole point. Yeah.
Whether or not they stay for Chuty, I don't know.
They may do.
I really hope they do, and they will care to a lesser extent because it will do amazingly well on Disney. So they won't care.
Although that's the thing with Doctor Who the past few years, the BBC has realised that even though it may not be doing as well in the UK, internationally it's still as strong as it has been since Series 5.
Exactly. And right now I'm campaigning for Chuty Gatwa to do a cover of I Am the Doctor by John Pertwee.
In a proper rapper style of the
Talking.
era.
Yeah, more like a William
Stormzy style.
A William Shatner style.
All right.
Because unlike Doctor in Distress, I Am the Doctor is actually a really good song.
It's a good song and it works okay. I don't know whether it would actually work if Tom Baker did a rap over the Mankind version of Doctor Who theme a few years later. I think that might have been a problem, but
yes, but no, I fully support a cover of that to come out. Chuty and Millie on backup vocals.
Yeah, you get the impression that she's the Jenna Coleman of this era that's coming up.
She's also the Rose of this era.
Yes. I mean, Billie Piper had an established career beforehand. This was just like rehabilitation Doctor Who. But Jenna Coleman, her name was made with Doctor Who.
Yeah, Millie will do the same. But I think Millie and Chuty are going to be a lot of fun. And I'm glad that it's one Doctor, one companion, because I think any more than that, it's too crowded. Like, they never should have had John Bishop in Flux. It should have just been Mandip and Jodie, and I think it would have been a far stronger season.
It would have been. It would have been to an extent. I agree with that.
But that's just the ramblings opinions of an old man. So,
never as old as me. That's all I'm going to say. But there we are.
I know, but Harrison will always be younger than me.
Yeah, but he's your boy. There's a difference.
Yeah, he is. Okay.
But yeah, no, it's been nice to be not just a one-man band this time. Thank you for joining in.
You're welcome. And anytime that I can do it, I will more than likely tell you. It just depends what the plans are for the day. Today's a chill day. Because we were in Fife yesterday for Siobhan's birthday, and then the night before that we had people around for her birthday, and we didn't get to bed till 3:30.
Yeah, I wasn't asleep till about that time yesterday as well. You'll see this when you watch back the rest of the live stream later. But I was trying to boot up this PC yesterday, and it wouldn't boot.
Right.
So I spent until 3 o'clock this morning getting everything back up and running and reinstalling Windows and everything. Fortunately, most of the programs and stuff are still there.
Right.
But it gave me an excuse to upgrade a couple of things.
Is that why you're worried about Skype not working?
Yeah, that's why I was partially worried about Skype not working. It does seem to be connecting in. I haven't tried the disembodied voices segment I've got here, but obviously I can hear you, so it'll be probably best. I mean, you won't see your face anyway because you've got the baby with you, so...
Exactly. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be doing faces with him. He's not going on socials, so...
No, quite right.
So you can hear him when it was starting to fall asleep. Oh my God, bless him. But yeah, no, it's been a pleasure. It's been nice to come back and dip my toe in from time to time.
It's been nice to have you back, and it's been nice to have a slightly longer Streamstructor, because as I keep saying, I can only do about now 15 minutes, and then that's me spent. So it's nice to have that back and forth.
Are you at the group tonight? Is that why?
I am going to the Doctor Who group, but I have a pizza to make first.
No.
So.
Well, very fancy. We're having mac, cheese, and chips. If anyone cares about our dinner.
Ooh, yeah. It's a pizza I pop in the oven. I'm not making a pizza as such. It's just one of these box ones. But yes, it's one of those situations.
The habit of she wants to perfect cookies. So off to Argos. Well, we've messaged you. We're in Argos getting a scale, measuring scale, and a mixing bowl, so she can make some cookies. So that.
Right.
Recommended TV shows that we should be watching. Are you watching anything?
I am currently going through The Crown from the beginning, so I've got to the end of season 3, and then also we've got season 4 and the new series season 5 to go through. So that's what I'm watching. Next up is then Dark Materials.
Nice.
But apart from that, I haven't got much at the moment. What was that? Sorry.
We watched the first. I've watched the first season of his Dark Materials, but I'm not going beyond that. We're watching Ghosts on BBC.
Yes, I've still to catch up on series 4 of that. The first 3 are great, and I hear that one of them gets sucked off in the 4th series. So that's interesting.
That's a spoiler if you've watched any of Ghosts. We just watched. We're just about to finish season 2. I hadn't watched it before. Interestingly enough, they've put the American version on the iPlayer as well.
Have they? Right. Well, that's interesting to catch up for me then when it gets to that.
But they're 18 episodes per season, and I think that's too long.
That's America for you.
That's America, but not. But that's becoming less and less the norm. 8 is becoming the norm in America, and that's why you're getting.
If it's something on broadcast TV, they still want to have the length in there. But when it comes to streaming stuff, yes, you're right. 8 to 10 is the standard.
But that's why you're getting Doctor Who is 8 for the season.
Doctor Who couldn't. I'm not budgetary wise. Doctor Who couldn't sustain
13.
to get the high production quality. 13.
No.
It was a misnomer at the time it was done in 2005.
Yep.
In the British television. Having 8 now, having 10 was just about doable.
Yeah.
I think Flux for a 6 series was maybe a bit too short. I think 8's probably the right number.
Flux as an 8 would have been better, but unfortunately, and I think we've discussed this before, Flux just didn't stick the landing.
And it didn't stick the landing because I think they planned it for 8 and was told he's only getting 6.
6, yeah.
And he chopped together 6, 7, and 8 into 5 and 6.
Yep. But there was stuff to enjoy about Flux. The whole Grand Serpent and unit did not need to be a part of that story.
It might have worked if they had more time to develop it.
True.
But I don't think it was. I think it was an irrelevance for if they had to cut down stuff, get rid of Kate, get rid of the Grand Serpent, and you would have been able to manage the 6. Maybe have him as that recurring character that Vinder got done for, but don't bring him back afterwards. That's fair enough.
They also didn't need Vinder in Power of the Doctor.
No, but that was kind of like the end of that was like an end of era thing, like Stone Earth.
Yes. But I'm curious to see if they've got Kate coming back. I
hope so. I hope she does come back because that's a nice continuity element. She pops up every so often, like she does, and it's fine.
Yeah, because she did Matt, she did Capaldi, she did Jodie, so it'd be nice if she did 14, and then 15. I hope Trinity Wells is back.
Oh, that'd be nice to have an even better link.
Wouldn't it?
Trinity Wells coming back all the way back. This is where you start linking into a lot more. Yeah.
Yes, and I think Murray Gold's back.
I wouldn't be bothered if Murray Gold didn't return because he did do a long run. I
feel the exact same as you, but I was driving about the other day on my own, and I was listening to Doctor Who soundtrack, and his stuff was just so full of love. I just absolutely enjoyed it.
No, I get that. The first 7 series, I agree. I think it is there, and Capaldi's theme for 8 and the Hellbent, the Heaven Sent theme.
Yeah, and the Shepherd's Boy.
The Shepherd's Boy, that's what they call it. Yeah, those are great. But he started recycling a hell of a lot of stuff from I'm the Doctor onwards, which I think is a sign that he needed to get away from it. And this is why Sagan was such a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, and I loved what Sagan Akinola did. Absolutely did, but it was missing that orchestra, in my opinion. Doctor Who deserves to be bombastic.
Do you know the best music that Murray did? I think it actually was the first series. I think that limited Dudley Simpson-esque limited orchestra actually worked quite well.
My favourite was the fourth Doctor, the 4th season. The Tennant's Last.
That's when they hit their stride, I agree.
I think all that stuff, a pressing need to save the world, the rueful fate of Donna Noble, all that sort of stuff. But even Together or Not at All, when Amy and Rory jump off the building, I think that piece is phenomenal. But yeah, we'll see what's happening. Nothing's been confirmed.
Fingers crossed, but we'll see what happens. But if Murray doesn't come back, it wouldn't bother me. But it would be a missing piece from the band, as you're quite right.
The composer who did Loki, and then she did Obi-Wan, I think she would be great on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Her name is completely escaping me.
And I can't recall who it is either.
But she would be good. But anyway, I will let you go get your pizza.
Yes, and
I
I'll
believe
let everybody else go, I think, as well.
The group will be
The
converging
group can
soon.
wait until I make my immaculate appearance at 8 o'clock at night. It's fine.
The group doesn't start till you get there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's been waiting for other members for the past 3 weeks, so that happens. But there we are. But quickly on the schedule for this month, we've already had the best of 2022. The live stream, of course, today. The clip will be the resolutions discussion with Fraser and I, so it could be a long clip. And then we have the Moonbase review next Sunday at 4 p.m. GMT. Winter for the Adept, the Big Finish Audio, or Winter for the Inept, as some people call it, on the 18th of January at 6 p.m. GMT. And you might see why that is when you get the review next week. And then we've got Kidstructor, Penny Crayon. Whoop whoop. The last Kidstructor, Melvin and Maureen, will be in March. Just to give you a heads up.
Okay.
And all the information about what's happening for the next few months will be in the channel update as well on the 29th at 4 p.m. GMT.
And if you're not subscribing already, why aren't you subscribing already? Click that button. Click the bell.
Yes. So if you like this, don't forget to like it, share it with the hashtag Teamstructor, which just happened to top up there as we were talking. And then also hit that subscribe button and notifications bell on YouTube so you know when a new video comes out. Now... Yes, thank you. We have the Facebook page, which gives from the archives video every Sunday, every Thursday. Twitter, you can join the Twitter as well. There's also Instagram and, of course, the Patreon, which said gentleman that's speaking with me is a member of the Patreon, and you get that name check at the end, as always. For that's £1, you can help support the channel. Until the end of February, you can see the extended version of Frosty the Snowman. So if you want to see more Seamus rantings, you have an opportunity to do it there. And my God, it's hilarious.
Why would you not?
Why would you not? But yes, please hit that subscribe button and all the usual great things. General rule, new video every Sunday at 4 p.m. GMT. Although I know Fraser hates the GMT aspect. My apologies, sir. But there we are.
I was convinced you were starting at 5 tonight. That's how behind I am.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Well, give it a couple of live streams time, it will be 5 o'clock our time, but that confuses you. But back Wednesday with the clip. If you haven't seen the full live stream clip, it will be available on Wednesday for you to view. But yes, thanks guys for watching. Thank you, Fraser, for joining in.
Pleasure as always.
I will hopefully I'll catch you next month as well. If you stay on just a minute afterwards.
Yes, I will. Don't worry. I'll let this come to an end, and then we'll end.
Yeah, no bother. But thanks guys for watching as always. Yeah, until next time. Do you know what? I will see you later.
Hello. There we go. Right.